Welcome to the Bad Movie Night podcast, covering the worst movies you've never seen. We hope you enjoy listening to Bad Movie Night podcast.
Everybody, welcome back to the Bad Movie Night Podcast. My name is Chris, and tonight we are back, and we are talking about Nicolas Cage in the 2024 horror action movie, Arcadian.
They trapped us in. They're crawling up from underneath us. They'll break in any second. You need to trust me.
Arcadian.
Don't forget to lock the door.
But isn't that the name of like a Who album or something?
Arcadian?
Arcadia?
Well,
There's
it
Acadia.
it should be.
Acadia? Is that what it is?
The Acadians were the French colonists way back in 18th century.
And did they also make a Who album? Or is that...
God, I wish I would have paid attention.
I don't know about that one.
I remember doing history class, and me and Mark
Nova
got yelled
Scotia.
at.
Nova Scotia used to be called Acadie.
I like history. I
Acadie.
like history.
L'Acadie. Yeah,
Because we always
Acadies.
repeat it.
Then the British kicked them all out.
Okay, I don't know what any of
But
that is.
Arcadia, that's something.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
okay,
it's
we're gonna
it's a
dive into
Greek.
that. We're gonna dive into
We'll
it,
get
Spiv.
there.
We're
It's a
gonna,
Greek thing
you
in the
know,
Jiggers.
there's
It's
time to do
probably
that.
the quiz. And
I
Aaron
feel-
is just a vignette.
I feel like I've been gone here. I've been gone for a couple weeks, and now he just
whole
talks
show.
over me the whole time.
Well,
You hearing this?
You were so distorted.
He just
Someone
keeps.
has
He
to
just
talk.
barrels through me when I'm saying directing the show.
Hey,
What?
Jay, do you have a premise for
What?
that?
What?
Turn your mic down, dude. You're super distorted.
Hey, where
You're
just
very
screaming.
quiet.
Is this better? Is this
I'm
better
quiet.
now? Am I better?
I'm quiet. My
You are
head's
better.
all stuffed up. I can't hear.
You just
Smooth.
can't get
I'm
excited,
stuck,
Chris. You have to steady volume.
Yeah, you gotta be
all the
like me.
time.
Just don't get excited about life anymore.
That's right.
I got fired up, and I apologize to everyone. Sometimes emotions flare.
Fired.
I'm glad you have
We
the
got the
energy.
cage.
You know?
One could say, much like last week's episode, it was a crime of passion.
Dude, your mic is like
Also, what
Clipping
Aaron
like
does to his
crazy.
underpants. What? What did you say?
Your
Is
mic-
it really?
your
There's some
mic is
slight
like.
clipping. Aaron, you're still really quiet.
I didn't adjust anything. For fuck's sake!
This is why people are supposed to shop before we start the show.
Why are you starting the show before everybody shows the fuck up?
Because it's
'Cause
8
it's
o'clock. And now it's
8:15.
8:13.
Because it's 8:15.
We
We used to start at
hold anyone accountable.
8:45. We did the pre-show.
But we
until-
start at 8 now.
Yeah. 8's been steady.
Am I still clipping? This is bullshit. Do we have to start the whole show back over because you guys are a bunch of assholes?
You sound good, Chris.
Rebecca didn't even come, and she's the one that told us 8 o'clock.
She's joining. She said she's joining.
I know. It's
You
the
are so
funniest
quiet,
thing.
Aaron. You're
She's
so
the
quiet.
one-
I'll
Why am I
adjust.
quiet?
No, he's fine. I got him. He's good. It sounds good in the monitor mix when I check the show. Anyways, guys, we're not here to dispute the equalization and the EQing of this audio channel. I go through and I'll fix it up in post. If you're watching it live, you're just surviving through this. But, guys, we're back.
I'm so glad Chris is back. I missed this.
dBFS.
We are back.
I missed the rage.
Aaron, on the pre-show, we did check out and remember...
What pre-show? You said show
Well,
at 8 o'clock.
Well, we were supposed to start the show at 8. No one showed up, so we had a fucking 10-minute pre-show. Anyways, the point is, we listened to
That's more like foreplay. That's not a pre-show.
Andromeda's 2 is 1, the song
man.
Encyclopedia.
That's a great song. Encyclopedia,
God.
yeah.
That whole album, guys.
Whole
I
album.
don't remember
album
watching the album, but I remember
was
that song was
solid.
pretty killer.
So solid.
And
That's top 10 albums of all
It's a
time.
stupid name for a song.
It's
though.
up there for
No.
me.
It's
It's
up
not-
there, man.
it's
It's in my
not
top
there.
20, maybe.
top
Yeah.
10 of all time.
I listen
Maybe
to
for
it all the
progressive.
time.
Really?
Yeah,
All right.
I do too. It's my go-to for Andromeda albums.
absolutely.
Well, yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
They
I
have a lot
prefer
of
the
albums.
collective works of Bette Midler, personally.
All right, guys, we're back talking about Nicolas Cage in Arcadia. This was a Patreon pick picked by one Episode.
God damn, Chris, I
Thank
missed you.
Who picked it? Does anyone know?
Hold on, I'll check.
It doesn't matter. It's just one of the same people that picks all the goddamn movies, and we never get to pick
It
any
was
of them.
John. It was John. Apathy.
Yeah, it's John.
Yeah.
John joined us for.
We played fire. Yeah, we
He
played
comes
Jason
on
John.
Alien Fire Team, and he's like level 7,000 compared to me and AJ, who are like level 3. And he kills all the xenomorphs, so we
Yeah.
don't get a chance.
He has
But
all the
anyways.
cool gear, tricked out.
So we're back, guys, talking about Arcadian. Excited to dive into this film. But before we dive into this film, AJ, can you tell me what Arcadian is about?
A father and his 2 sons live in isolation on remote farm.
Are we not men?
In a near future world, overrun by terrifying creatures. Can they outlast the horrors by whipping the land? Or will they become the prey?
Oh my god, that was the influence for the entire movie.
Prepare for the 2024 horror sensation starring Nick Cage, Arcadian.
Not to be confused with the Acadian National Park.
What is an Arcadian? Does anyone actually know?
Yes, I actually looked up
looked it
what the
up.
word is.
Rebecca's
Thanks for starting without me.
well, I didn't even know you were here because it doesn't show your little image because you don't have one because you're that
Because
fucking
my
robot
camera
from
didn't even have
2001.
a chance to start yet. I said at 6:30 this
I
morning.
can't do that, Dave.
8 o'clock? Question mark.
And then there's like
no one
17
responded
messages
to me.
since then, Rebecca.
Wait a second. Wait a
So
second.
I'm coming in hot.
Okay, wait. All right, two questions. One's an idea, one's another question. One, did you hear when I threw you under the bus about the time?
No.
Yeah, that's because I didn't. That's right. You know I didn't. Two.
No, but you started the show without me. You're already into AJ's thing.
That's exactly right, Rebecca. You did the same shit to me.
It's
Who has been here every week?
It's
This girl. This girl.
We started at 8:10.
For nearly 8 years.
Rebecca's the most
She's been
reliable
here for
one
nearly
here.
8 years.
I asked 8 o'clock question mark at 6:30 a.m. and no one responded.
No one's awake.
I
then?
gave you a thumbs
No
up.
one.
Yeah, I'm with
AJ had
Rebecca.
already sent a message.
Yes.
I
She's
think
right.
at 5 o'clock, AJ said we want to try for 8, and 2 of us gave it a thumbs up.
All right.
Oh, no, I didn't give
That's
you a thumbs
like
up. Sorry. I
12
gave him a thumbs
hours
up.
later.
12 hours later, Spiff.
Well, we were working.
Yeah, I'm
Well, some
sleeping
of
at
us were getting written up.
Yeah, apparently you need to work more.
Okay.
AJ, we're going to need you to deliver this video ahead of schedule next time.
Rebecca, I do like the fact that you've gone to like the 2001
this is
AI
great.
guy thing. We should all slowly do that and then just replace the show with ChatGPT.
I like
There
that.
we go.
Oh, what the hell?
Viv,
I am James
You're-
Madison.
What am
you're a
I?
handsome
I'm
looking
just one of
woman.
these. I'm a big fat
Stefan
circle.
just texted me to ask why I'm yelling.
Because Chris is yelling.
Just tell us he's yelling at us.
You need this cool guy. You need this cool
is
guy.
that?
He's the guy from
Felix the cat or something?
that game, PV4, whatever it's called.
Oh God, Chris.
How come I
Persona?
left? How do you turn
Persona
the camera
5.
off?
Yeah, he's the cat from Persona 5. It's a great
I
game.
missed Chris.
I don't know how to do any of this shit anymore.
What? Why am I back up top?
Oh,
Now?
why am I this guy? The guy I'm captain now? Oh, that
The
makes sense.
captain now.
All right, guys. No, there's no time for banter's done.
Shit's off the
Rebecca's
rails.
on
Chris
here.
is back.
We're talking
25
about
minutes in.
Arcadian. But before we get into talking about the movie, we got to go through Aaron's history hole. So let's climb into that hole
I
and
guess
get a
we
little
could.
context for the movie and the year it was released. Here we go.
Damn it! I already used my shtick.
Do you want to feel old, guys?
I was so excited to do this that I forgot it was for the history hole.
That is really poignant though, and I think is the influence for the creatures in this film. The director was out grilling, and he's like, "What if?"
Ooh.
What if the creature was tongs?
What if I made this hairy?
hairy tongs?
That's Spiv's first thought about things too.
Harry Tom.
That was his nickname in high school. Okay, Arcadian. Clackety clack. Don't talk back. All right, this film was released on March 11th, 2024 at the South by Southwest Film Festival.
Little known fact. We did not get into the South by Southwest.
That's a little known.
Yeah,
I think
unfortunately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this film was filmed in Ireland, which is pretty cool. It grossed nearly $1 million. Actually, slightly over $1 million worldwide.
So far.
Impressive.
I don't know what the costs were. I couldn't find anything about a budget.
Probably several $1 million at least.
I would assume.
I think it's like 900,000, right?
There's no way it was 900.
No, there's no way.
That's what it said on IMDb.
I would guess 4 or 5 million.
They needed an iPhone and
Whoa.
like a farm in Ireland.
No, if it was an iPhone, it would have auto-stabilized and it wouldn't have been so drunken looking. We'll get to it, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Maybe.
All right, the writer for this film was Michael Nylon, who is Nick Cage's agent, manager, and producing partner. Ooh. He also previously wrote Braven from 2018.
Okay. Braven.
Yeah, I don't know, that sounds like some kind of weird snack. I don't know why.
Braven?
Braven.
Now in sour cream and onion.
I can't even.
Yeah, exactly.
Wait, what's the flavor? You think sour cream and onion is a Braven? I would think it's more.
I was thinking more like bran, like raisin Braven.
It's like raisins and bran.
Well, no, that'd be Raisin Braven, not Braven.
It'd be Braven brand, guys.
Braven brand.
What? It's just like a piece of bread with.
Dude, we're just trying. We're spitballing
that's
ideas.
Just cinnamon.
Here, okay?
That's raisin bread.
I like putting cranberries on top.
Maybe Turkey Slope can have Braven as our first product.
Slope. That would be that's our first flavor.
What if it's bran, raisins, and avocado?
That's a fucking terrible combination.
What
kind of psychopath would have raisins and avocado?
People put avocado in everything.
Are you like smoothieing it then?
Dude, I can go in my bathroom, find 7 things that have avocado in them. Into my kitchen, find 7 things that have avocado in them too.
Why the fuck do you have so many avocados?
That's why you don't go in my bathroom with a snack. You'll get confused.
Chris, you just take chips.
That's a good fact.
I don't know what I'm dipping in. This is good.
It's a hard thing.
Chris, that's lotion. Whatever.
It's fucking hair soap. It's like shampoo.
Hair soap.
You can dip your Braven in whatever you want.
Yeah, Chris. Braven goes with anything.
Be careful where you dip your Braven.
I've been dipping that Braven left and right. You don't even want to
know.
My
Braven.
Freund Braven. What is that?
I mean, the commercials already. I can already picture the commercials. We got this. I don't know what the product is, but we got the marketing down pat already. In preparation for this masterpiece, Nicolas Cage isolated himself with his family for 3 months. AKA, he took a vacation.
Yeah, how isolated are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Doesn't count. You get room service.
Yeah, I don't know. RLJE Films collaborated with Nick Cage on other horror thrillers like Mandy, Color Out of Space, Doggy Dog, Pay the Ghost, Prisoners of Ghostland, and Sympathy for the Devil.
I haven't seen that.
Prisoners of the Ghostland?
Yeah, it looks sweet. It's like a Escape from New York ripoff.
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Oh, really?
It was not very good.
Oh, that's a shame. How was Sympathy for the Devil?
Never saw
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's not bad.
I assumed it was going to be pretty good.
Good acting.
I like the co-star. I forget his name.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a car for 90% of the movie, but it's not bad.
Although they play twins, Jaden Martell is 2 years older than Maxwell Jenkins. And they look absolutely nothing alike.
They were twins? I thought the one was
twins.
a baby and one was...
No, they were both babies.
Like a toddler when he
two
found
babies
them.
at the beginning.
That didn't imply
exactly.
they were twins, though. I just said they were dumpster babies. You don't know.
Jesus.
I mean, what's a little bit of brave in between brothers, right?
Yeah. I don't know if I like comfortable with that.
Braven Brothers.
The Braven.
Okay. Our director for this was Benjamin Brewer. Do you know who he is?
No.
Jim
You
Brewer's
don't?
brother.
He did visual effects for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Great movie. Fantastic movie.
He wrote a film called Reptile from 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And he directed a short called A Folded Ocean, which is a pretty cool name, actually. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean, but it's a cool name.
Reminds me of, whatchamacallit, the Christopher Nolan
Yeah.
Dreams movie.
He's primarily done directing for music videos. Things like Skrillex and Diplo.
Dua Lipa?
Like
No, not
like,
Dua Lipa,
like the,
Diplo.
Like the cheap Lego necklace?
Like the Lego knockoff.
Duplo for the big
Duplo.
Legos.
Diplo, 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 featuring Justin Bieber. Where are you now?
Okay.
All right, cool.
Where is
Foster the
Justin
He's
People.
doing better than us.
Yeah,
Is he?
David
I don't know.
Guetta.
He had some drug issues.
I mean, how's that any different than some of us?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
We didn't crash our mirrored Lamborghinis or whatever.
Who are you talking
What the
about?
fuck are you
Justin
talking about?
Bieber.
I thought you were talking about Benjamin
No, I thought you were talking about
I thought you were talking about the
Diplo.
Lego bunny. What the hell is going on here?
You're such a boomer. All you do is shit on Justin Bieber.
These kids these days
I
crashing
would
their
love to
goddamn
be able to
Lamborghinis.
crash a mirrored Lamborghini because that means I have one.
Well,
If
you
I-
had one.
Well,
You can buy another one because you're rich.
yeah.
Okay, Mike Nylon, whatever. The writer for this film, aka Nick Cage's buddy, is known for producing Braven. Left Behind.
Wait, I forget. Is Braven a
Rage.
real thing or is that something you made up?
It's real.
Okay. I don't know what it is at this point.
No.
It's also a delicious snack item.
Okay.
You can find it at your local grocery store.
Okay.
We
in
don't
the
know what
frozen
the
food
aisle
section.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
the cover
frozen.
looks familiar from that movie.
Do you guys ever need
Braven
to find
stars,
something at the
Jason
grocery
Momoa.
store? No, I want to ask something. Do you ever
Yeah.
go to the grocery store? You have an ingredient in mind, but you have no idea where to find it. What do you do? Pop quiz shot. What do you do?
Wander.
I read the sign and
You
then I
ask
just find it.
If they have a website app, sometimes you can figure out which aisle it's in.
I immediately Google
Yep.
in crisis. Where the fuck is the tostadas? I don't fucking know. And I mean, that
That's
would
not
be an
on
easy.
the
That
internet.
would be an
Snack
easy
aisle.
one.
Yeah,
Every-
that's
every
international.
It's different.
No, AJ just called me an idiot. It's definitely not in the snack aisle
No.
tostadas. They're in the international aisle with the Mexicans.
Well,
With
it
the Braven,
depends-
yeah.
It depends on the store.
Yeah.
It depends, yeah.
If I'm feeling brave, I will ask someone that works there, but
Wow.
chances
Really?
are they
You're gonna
know.
You
ask
talk to people?
You guys put
I will
headphones
walk
on
up
when
and
you
down
go to the
every
grocery
goddamn
store?
aisle for hours before I ask
But
somebody
then it's
anything.
like they have. I just asked them to solve the world's toughest problem by
I think
Say
asking where the
tostadas.
Nutella.
You know what I
Sounds
do?
like a boomer.
I put my
Got
Andromeda
some
on my
boomer action
headphones,
going on here.
and I
Nobody
just
wants to
go
work
looking for
anymore.
it. And I rocked Encyclopedia the whole time.
I think the closest I get to asking someone is I just get really upset looking and then frustrated, and then I just
Can I help
leave.
you with something?
And then they
No,
get
I'm like
scared.
I'm hoping they ask me, but they don't.
And when they do, Chris just sits there and goes,
No.
until he shits his pants and then just walks away.
I've never shit my pants.
Clean up on aisle 6.
I may have peed on a lot of things, but I never shit my pants.
You know, for God's sakes. I'm glad you're back, Chris. I missed
we
you on
doing
this
here?
podcast. Talking about bodily functions in grocery stores, just like Arcadian.
Why not?
I have no idea why. This movie stars, obviously, Nicolas Cage, Jaden Martell, Maxwell Jenkins, Leroy Jenkins. We have Sadie Soverall, who plays Charlotte. And that's
Girlfriend.
the most
The love
important,
interest.
the love interest character. Yep.
At the Rose Farm.
Yep. At the Rose Farm.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Rose Farm.
That's a euphemism.
Spiv, you want to go to the Rose Farm?
Well, I go to the Rose Farm every day.
Feeling a little thorny.
Oh, you guys are all gross.
Gotta stop and smell the roses.
All right. are you-
There's some taglines for this film.
over the cave.
Taglines for this film are "Beware of the dark,"
Oh, man.
Spoiler, it's the whole movie.
"Family is stronger than fear."
okay.
They're really not.
Is it though? Yeah.
Yeah, for Nicolas Cage, it was.
I don't understand why they just get Christian Slater and call us Alone in the Dark, too.
Like,
that's the
Because
movie.
there is Alone in the Dark too, and we should watch that. Yeah, we should watch Alone in the Dark too.
That'd be
Does it have
brutal.
Tara Reid again?
I don't know. I hope so. She was great. I believe
Does she
her.
play a
did
doctor
okay
this
in
time?
Yeah.
Hey,
Or a
she was fine.
psychologist?
I know stuff about rocks. God damn it!
I would rather her be president than Trump. I'm just
Yes. And the next sunset may be their last.
Dun, dun, dun.
all right. These are fine. Let's just get into it.
Let's get into it.
These are-
Like
these
a
are
nice
fine.
bowl of Braven.
These are fine, but let's move on. AJ made a bumper.
Oh.
It's 30 seconds long. I'm debating whether I
Oh,
say
man.
a drink.
Don't play the whole thing if it's too long. So.
What? 30 seconds is fine.
What the hell is he? Is that milk? Or is that just white? Oh, it's just white.
It's a that is a huge cup of milk.
It's just
That's
a
a lot.
container of water.
That's
That's
a
all
lot
it
of
is.
milk. All right, here we go.
Container.
Time to move on. Listen to AJ's new bumper. Here we go.
Patreon, $2 a month. Patreon. 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 Patreon, $2 a month. Patreon. Join up for some fun stuff. Patreon.
Dude, what an
didn't know he
overachiever.
recruited
This is
King
why he's
Diamond
getting
for
yelled at work.
Congress.
He's spending all his time making Patreon
I made that
posts.
like 30 minutes before we started.
Really?
Yeah.
It looks like you put a lot of effort into that.
I like how you just like, you get cool stuff.
It's true.
Patreon.
Patreon.
Sign
true.
up.
Cool. Very true.
Talk to us.
You can
That's
play
gonna stick
Alien
in my head
Firestorm
now.
with us.
That's true.
Yeah, if you could do a metal version of that,
Yeah, we get King Diamond
like a
on
speed metal version. Yeah.
King Diamond.
All right, guys, we're here. We're going to talk about Arcadian. So, Aaron, would you tell me, what did you think of Arcadian?
I was pleasantly surprised. It's fairly generic, but it was shot well. The creature was very creative, very different, pretty unique, which I thought was cool. The overall story's kind of a rehash of other movies, really. I was surprised that Nick Cage, when he comes back into the film, isn't like a super badass. I thought he was going to go like Mandy on these creatures. But overall, it was pretty enjoyable.
I endured it.
Gerbils.
All right, Richard Gere, let's calm the fuck down. AJ, what did you think?
Yeah, I think it's okay for like a newer horror movie. You know, you have Nick Cage in it, and of course there's the Nick Cage factor when we talk about these kind of things. It was very low budget for like a newer horror film. I felt like it is a lot of like other horror movies combined, and some of the writing was pretty poor at times. But overall, I was entertained through the movie. It wasn't, I wouldn't call it terrible. And it's interesting because like I know online this gets a lot of mixed feelings. Like some people like it, some people really hate it. I'm just like partial to it. You know, it was fine. It's just like a forgettable Nick Cage movie.
Rebecca.
I was surprised that Nick Cage kind of took a back seat for a good portion of the movie. He was just kind of unconscious in the back room there. So you don't really hear from him a lot. This movie kind of ebbs and flows, which I feel like any movie where like the creature can only come out at night or at certain times, like you kind of have those lulls where it kind of like really slows down and then you jump back into it. Yeah, there are definitely some story issues, I think. Like, why did the creatures all of a sudden figure out that they could go underground and come up through the houses that way? I thought it was okay, though. It kept my attention enough.
Spiv.
I liked this one, guys. It was definitely low budget, and the shaky camera got really annoying.
Oh yeah.
Like
Very
someone
shaky.
was running after the actors in the woods and didn't bother to buy a steady cam. Yeah, just like that.
Just like that.
And but overall, yeah, I thought it was fun. The story really wasn't there. It was just more of a concept, but yeah, I thought well executed. You know, it kept my attention. It built the suspense the whole time. I thought I didn't feel any lulls in the action, but yeah, lots of questions at the end. Of course, I mean it was definitely learning that like the special effects guy made the movie. That makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, overall, I liked it.
This is my second time watching it. I like this movie. I do think the first thing you think, or at least the first thing I thought, was that the handheld camera work was especially sloppy and drunken feeling and very noticeable. But I think what they were trying to go for, and you guys keep saying low budget. I don't know how low budget this thing was. Maybe I just feel like it was a couple $1 million, but I could be wrong.
Yeah,
it's got
I mean,
I
too
think with
many
all the
effects,
creature effects and stuff,
apartment.
they
Yeah,
spent some
You
money.
got to pay Nick Cage.
the creature and two
Yeah.
named actors. That kid's was on fucking Stranger Things. Like he's not cheap
Oh,
either.
was he?
I doubt
Okay.
it.
Oh,
So
no.
you think he's cheap? I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it was pretty low budget, but the effects definitely didn't look cheap.
But you think this felt like
This was like a
hundreds of
movie.
thousands of dollars? No, I'm with Chris. This is probably a couple mil.
This is
Mil,
definitely
2 mil,
a couple
3.
mil,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
isn't that, I mean that's low budget these days, right? I mean,
It's still low budget, yes.
Yeah.
Relatively,
it's not
yeah.
micro budget, but yeah.
It's low budget, but to me that the camera work made it try to feel more like indie, like I don't know, like indie drama or something was the sense I got out of the camera work, where it's like just shaking for no reason. Well,
they were running.
They were running.
I was running.
But it was distracting at first. And I do agree with everybody's sentiments that there's a lot of derivative stuff within the film. The setup, which we can go through the plot though, isn't really ever explained what happens to the world. But the creatures in this movie were enough.
It's climate change related, right?
That's what they said.
Pollution,
I don't know.
climate change.
But are those
that was
microplastics?
just guessing though, right?
That was guesses.
Right, they don't know.
I wrote down what everybody said. We can talk about it then. But for me, the creature, the way they behave and a bit of the way they look was very unique and interesting. There's a scene in this movie that I thought was so creepy and well done, where the creature sticks its hand through the window and its finger goes so slowly, and it just sits there with it. And I thought, man, that was fucking awesome. And then the first time you see the creatures start like snapping their mouths, it's such a weird visual and sound.
It's off-putting.
Yeah, it's not on-putting, Rebecca. It is off the pudding. And I love that stuff. So outside of that, and and when they're rolling in like a pinwheel, also interesting.
Yeah, that felt like Dark Souls-esque or something.
These creatures feel like Dark Souls kind of creatures.
They really do.
Other than that, yeah, pretty standard post-apocalyptic kind of monster thing. Nick Cage was good though.
He did great.
He's Nick Cage.
Yeah. He's Cage.
He's fucking Nick Cage.
He blew his arm off and he's still going.
Hey, he was still kicking.
And I appreciate they did the thing from Indiana Jones, Crystal Skull, which I never saw, but where you just get in a fridge and any fucking thing can happen to you. And you'll
that scene
survive.
was really cool. Yeah.
Scott and I talked about that earlier today. I thought that was a really creative way to deal with the explosions without having to film an explosion.
It saves money.
And it feels intense. It really does, as they show flames
they're
shooting
like
in.
fighting to keep it closed.
Right.
And
I mean, this movie does that well. It's probably budgetary stuff like we're talking about, but it mostly obscures a lot of things or give you hints at things instead of showing you full bore what the creature. You do see what the creatures completely look like.
Yeah.
But even when you see them in full, it's usually
hard
very,
to, like-
very quickly and
It's
dark
fast.
and
Yeah.
fast.
It's very
The
dark.
movie was very dark.
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was.
but that fits
They
with the
also do
concept.
a lot
apparently I'm
of,
hard to hear.
Heavy
I don't know how to turn
saturation
myself
too,
up.
unlike people. Like the colors are very oversaturated at times.
What did you say, Rebecca?
Sean said I'm hard to hear.
You're
Maybe-
quiet.
You do
Oh
seem
my
a little
god!
quiet.
I can turn you up, Rebecca.
Okay.
Bada
thank
bang,
you.
bada
Yeah,
bam.
I boosted her to like 120 something last time.
Okay, you're usually really loud, so I usually have to turn you down.
I was at like 70, I think, last time.
This thing's
So-
never accurate.
No, I did think the movie was dark, but like
Yeah.
to me, like it's way more effective when you get hints of things and use your mind to fill in the details.
Yeah, it's
Like,
the
that's-
Jaws approach. Yeah.
The scene when they're kind of first revealed in the in that same scene with the hand, that was creepy. But then like you saw its face briefly for a second in the window, it was super creepy. So let's get into a little bit of how this movie starts, because I thought it gave hints to maybe what was going on in the world, but after watching it a second time, I don't know if it does. Because it opens with Nick Cage running through like a kind of, I don't know.
He's in a city,
Like a
town
war
kind of
zone.
place.
War zone city, and you
Yeah.
see like he's like running against a wall, and there's like some sort of
Rockets
settlement
going off. Yeah.
shooting rockets at
Yeah,
things.
And
and
it's
rockets. People are
during day,
screaming.
right?
That's what I was gonna say, AJ, because it's
Yeah.
during
Yeah.
day, implying they're not fighting the creatures, right?
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Is it some sort of world war, or some sort of war that leads to kind of mostly the end of humanity, and then these creatures evolve over time? But he's seen during when humanity still was like a thing. It's not like that much
It's
time has
only
lapsed. The boys
it's
are
15 years. Right?
Yeah, 15 years. So I'm not sure how these creatures came about unless they were part of the explosions and things we were
Right.
seeing. But like you said, that was daytime.
Yeah, it's weird because at no point is there ever, even Nicolas Cage says something about like climate change. They think, but like he doesn't know how the world
Yeah,
kind of
no one
ended
knows.
either.
At first, I thought when the girl was telling that, where like he counts down from 10 and she's telling the story, like I thought that was somehow related. But then when he told his story, it was like completely different. So that I
Yeah.
wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Well, they weren't alive yet when it happened. So
Her,
Right.
her idea was that bugs got an infection and spread the infection to humans or something like that. And and then robots took over. It's like she was joking, but that was her theory for the end of the world. But okay, in a world where no one knows how the world ends, why do they know the world ended? How do they know the world ends?
Yeah.
Right.
Or ended?
Or are they just assuming because they can't go out at night and they're constantly under attack
Well, and they
that
don't
there's nobody
see
else
any other
left?
people, yeah.
Very few people they see, but they're in a very rural area too.
They are.
But I get
very
if there's no
Arcadian
communication, you
area.
might not know the world's like basically over.
Shit!
Look at, like,
Rebecca
the
just
Civil
dropped
War.
The name of the movie.
Bam! Look at the Civil War. Like people didn't know the war was over for years. Like or not even
Right.
World War One.
Well, there's still some people who don't know.
Right. Well, good point. But you know, I mean, that happens when there's lack of communication.
Sure.
So it's a world now in which creatures, which I guess we learn throughout the film, burrow into the ground, but also seems weird. Like Rebecca said earlier in the movie, that the creatures discover they can burrow from underground up into the house, and it's like this house has been protecting them for at least like 15 years.
Right.
But they mentioned that the creatures never bother the Rose farm. And then all of a sudden one day, like, there's 80 of them there. So
Maybe they're running out of humans
On
to
the
eat.
exact moment they need to show up to save the boy's life too, Spiff.
Yes.
well, it's very convenient for the plot.
That
But,
is convenient for the plot.
but yeah, I got the feeling that it was some sort of special day or special time of year, maybe that this is when the creatures all come together.
Or like
to
they were almost
Called
getting
Raven
produce
Spiff.
or
Raven
something.
Day.
desperate or something. Like they were.
The prequel hasn't come out yet.
Yeah,
Well-
I don't know.
Rebecca, there's a scene, remember, where the boy is driving the little car and he stops because all the sheep are like running over little hills. I guess that was implying that the hills
Creatures
from
are
the
coming?
creatures or
It
something.
was like they
I'm
were
not sure.
moving
Well, the sheep
under
were
the ground.
scared,
Yeah.
And why don't these creatures kill the sheep?
They probably
I
do.
didn't understand that either. Because they like were penning them in at night. So you would think, but I guess at that point they weren't burrowing underground
Gentlemen,
yet.
I kind of got the feeling that the creatures used to be people.
Really?
Oh.
Don't work with the children because used to be one, or what? How's that fucking go?
Yeah, what,
This is
Because I
Doubtfire.
used to be
'Cause
one.
Aaron and I
that's what
talked
I
about
was
this.
thinking too.
I don't work with the males.
I don't work with the males because I used to be one. That's right. Yeah.
What a great movie. Anyway, wow.
But yeah, when they attack the farm and they eat the girlfriend's mother,
Yeah. What was that?
I
eating?
interpreted that not as eating, but as kind of like
Becoming?
a reproduction thing.
Oh, see, I thought it was like an stomach
was
that
really
would come
hard
up
to
and like
see.
absorb
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
But
It was just like some pink membrane thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know
if anybody knows anything about pink membranes, it's you, Scott.
exactly
We should have went to
Yeah.
Reddit.
because I eat my brazen.
It's like,
Raven.
you know,
It's like
I
what?
don't know. I don't know.
What?
We're jumping ahead in the plot, of course.
I don't want to get into the semantics of lovemaking, but we'll move on past that. I didn't know what that sequence was meant to say.
It was horrifying.
Well,
though.
like
Yeah, it
many
was-
things in the movie, it's kind of left ambiguous.
Yeah.
Left ambiguous. So the movie starts with Nicolas Cage running through the city streets, some
Looking
bombed out
good.
street. There's missiles going off. He's definitely scared. He stops under some sort of overhead thing. What's it called when you're under a highway?
archway?
Overpass.
Underpass. Underpass.
Overpass?
Two
Underpass.
Under an
houses down from the
overpass.
other
In a
pass.
pass?
He stops under an underpass and finds two
Under an
dumpster,
overpass.
dumpster babies, which, let's be real. If this is in the future and you're starving to death, you're going to fucking eat those babies. You're not going to save
I mean,
them.
we've already
Get in my
known
belly.
That's what happens.
This is
right?
interesting because when I watched it, Chris, I thought he went to the farm and found the babies that he had hidden there.
Why did he hide the babies at the farm?
Because the
No,
city
that was
was
a-
getting blown up by rockets.
Wasn't that an underpass where he found the babies?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was still in the city that he had.
Yeah,
to be.
he was still in the city because he's trying to
Like
carry
he
them out
stumbled
of the city.
upon them
Yeah.
because
and then
he heard
carried-
them. He heard them crying.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so you don't think they're his kids?
No,
No.
they're not his kids. You think Nicolas Cage shot these kids out
Yeah.
when he was fucking 65 years old in the
By
apocalypse?
himself.
I
Talk
do
about
agree.
lovemaking.
He's
do.
asexual.
He knew just where to look for him. I don't know.
I do appreciate that 15 years passes and this van doesn't age a single day.
Not a day.
Fucking not a day in the apocalypse.
He looks
But
great.
If anything, he looks younger.
He looks good.
Well, it's because
Farmer,
dietary
yeah.
restrictions.
Yeah. He's not getting the refined sugars.
Can
So
you imagine trying to raise 2 children in the apocalypse? How awful that would be. Trying to keep them quiet at night when creatures are trying to get in.
You can't.
It's not happening. No, you get.
well, but it doesn't seem like they have to be quiet.
Yeah, the creatures
Like they don't have to turn lights off
AJ.
or anything.
A pretty solid wooden door these creatures are unable to get through in 15 years. Okay,
Well, he replaces it every so often.
it's
Yeah.
oak, AJ.
Why
He
is
goes
it
scrapping.
falling apart?
It's like the survival games you guys play all the time, right? You just got to go out and
Goddamn, sit there and talk
fix the
about
door.
7 days to die that way.
Goddamn, I love that game.
And see, this is one question I have.
We should
with
play.
the movie. The Cage and the boys are living in this rundown farm, which like, really low tech, candles, and who knows what they're eating. But over at the Rose Farm, there's like 18 people, and they eat meat for dinner and have nice wallpaper and toys.
Yeah, they have their own.
And they're
life.
like right down the street. Why is there a big difference?
I guess it.
Because
and the
capitalism
rose
existed once.
The roses have sheep, so are they using that to like trade for? Because they talked about like the number of families in the valley, so they're aware of each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
I missed what you said because I was responding to a text. What did you say? I haven't been on the show for a while. What?
Maybe these creatures are migrating though. Maybe there hasn't that many for a long time, and now there's more in the area or something.
Are you suggesting creatures migrate?
Well, we never learn anything about the creatures until one scene where he's dissecting them. But I wasn't even sure what we were supposed to learn from that.
They have intestines. That's what we're supposed to
Yeah, but they were still like moving. What was
They were
important?
kind of squelching, yeah.
I don't know. So Nicolas Cage finds some dumpster babies. Instead of eating them, he decides to raise them up real good in Ireland.
Get in my belly.
And the movie jumps 15 years into the future, where we quickly learn that you cannot go out at night because the creatures come, and a strong wooden door will protect you for always. And the young boy is leaving every day to go to the Rose Farm, where we learn eventually that he has a young girl that he is infatuated with.
Yeah, he's smitten.
Charlotte.
She is the only.
This is
teenage
definitely
girl
more
in
of
the
a
world.
Darkwood game, isn't it? It's like
I
Darkwood.
see that game looked cool, AJ, but I never played it.
It's just like Darkwood.
Because I got it on Xbox and it seemed too complicated for the
You
game.
need to play it on the computer. It's scary.
I didn't have time for that, but that looked cool. But the other, I did like the characterization of these brothers. They're very different. The one is irrational, but
Smart.
The one broke the other's arm.
well, he's a bit more irrational. Like he's your typical teenager, but he's also what's the word I'm looking for? He plays as though he's confident, but he's not actually. What's that?
A teenager.
Well, but there's a specific word I'm looking for. Insecure, maybe? I don't know. But he's infatuated with a girl. That's what he's caring about. But the other brother is like very smart.
Yeah, he's like an engineer type.
He's an engineer. He's working on their dune buggy thing or their golf cart, whatever it was.
He's the guy in the future.
He counts the number of scratches.
He's analytical. He's like studying chess and stuff like that.
Yeah. He's going places.
And he's also very much loyalty. Like, we're not leaving Dad. We're doing what Dad says.
Well, he seemed pragmatic because he knew that they weren't going to actually help him.
Yeah.
Right.
He had the foresight to that.
He had the foresight. And what was I saying? I was going to say something about him that I thought was interesting.
He had a cool haircut.
No, his hair. I don't understand. I don't understand kids' haircuts nowadays. But we're not going to talk about
the other brother had like chunks of hair missing.
Yeah.
which was realistic though. Like
I liked it.
Right, because you're not going to go to the barber.
Right. Yeah.
So the smart kid is learning all these things, but the other kid's like seems super confident, cocky. But when shit goes down, the smart kid's the first one to like attack it, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
The smart kid built a trap to catch one.
Yeah, he trapped it.
Which was kind of like
That was crazy.
That was a cool scene, but then it never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, because the other brother killed it, so.
Well, yeah, the other brother
an end to that.
let it go.
Yeah, what's the point? Like,
I don't know what that point was. It felt like it was like in an earlier draft of the script they had it actually going somewhere, and then it never went there.
Yeah.
But
And they forgot to take it out.
the main catalyst of the film.
Oops.
Well, you have to have a certain runtime, so you can't cut everything right. The main catalyst of the film, though, is when this cocky brother who's been visiting his girlfriend runs back late, falls in a hole, as one does, and Nicolas Cage has to set out and find him and help him. And that scene was pretty cool, too. Nicolas Cage in that hole. I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I thought he threw a Miller Lite into that hole and was hitting it with a rock.
Yeah, it was really hard.
That
Was
scene
it a-
was so dark, I had no clue what was going on.
Yeah, it was very dark.
And then it kept cutting back to the boy at the house, too, but that was dark, and I was like, who is where and what's going on?
Yeah.
But eventually they end up in the cave together, Nick Cage and the one son.
And Nick Cage ends up saving everyone by blowing up a Miller Lite in a hole and killing a bunch of the creatures.
I mean, that's life skills. You just don't get, you know?
Yeah, you
Unless
gotta
you're
be
old,
ready
like Nick
with your
Cage.
Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did he get down there? It was like a cave.
Miller time.
But
Yeah, he like
open?
walked in. He's like, I'll come down. Like, what? Why
Yeah,
didn't the sun just go
How did
up?
he get
why
down?
didn't the sun just
yeah.
The sun
He's like
didn't
at the
have very
top.
good
There's like
light. either,
stairs
though.
in the cave. What are you doing?
There's a ladder. There's like an escalator.
The sun had one of those clipper things that makes like a spark, that he was somehow lighting up this hole with a spark, but whatever.
But that was a
It's
cool
like a
scene
plasma
too,
lighter.
Right?
Yeah, it was a
It
cool
was
scene.
cool, yeah.
It
And
was
then
a
he
cool
sees like a
sequence.
hand or something.
Yeah, moving in the dirt. So these creatures, the other thing about the creatures that we learn is what they leave behind is like other little bugs or something.
Yeah,
there's
there's
Roaches.
little, like,
That's
the
a good
morning
point.
after they
Forgot
attack
about
the
that.
house, when Nick Cage is changing out the doorway, he finds the roaches. But then when the kid goes down in the boat and he finds like the creature bodies, I guess is what they were.
It was too dark, I
Sleeping.
couldn't tell.
There's
Is
the
that
bugs
what
around
like
there, too.
they all
Calibrate your
flew up
screen,
in
dude.
the air?
Yeah, when they flew up in the air.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool.
So
That's cool.
cool hints.
So it's like a symbiotic relationship with the bugs and these creatures.
I guess.
But these creatures are weird too because they seem almost insect-like at times, but then also
Dog-like.
dog-like. Yeah,
I also get like Velociraptor from them too.
they are clever girls.
That's a good point.
Yes.
I never saw a velociraptor form a wheel and roll after a jeep. So.
Yeah, but
That
did
was
you ever
Hey,
see
we
one?
weren't around when the dinosaurs were
around.
here.
I
We
just
don't
missed
know.
You probably don't even believe
They know
in
how
the
the wheel
dinosaurs.
works.
Right. People was around when the dinosaurs were on the earth.
What did you say, AJ?
They know how a wheel works. Okay.
I mean,
Have,
was that like
foresight.
to show their intelligence or something?
Ingenuity.
guess.
It looks cool. I don't know.
It
It
did.
did look cool.
I felt
But I
like it
didn't
was
understand because she
transformative.
said one's coming, like when they're rolling up on, but it
Yeah.
was like a wheel of them. So
Yeah,
was
I
it
went
one
back. I
wheel is
rewinded. I was like, how did they come
or-
and turn into a wheel? I was confused. I went back and like
They
rewound
did that
it.
earlier though when they were attacking the farm. When they came out of
Yeah.
the ground, it
Yeah.
formed a wheel.
It just looked cool. They're on
was cool.
fire.
Yeah.
They're rolling towards them.
The critters.
The
rolled
T-Rex
as a
is chasing
ball.
after them in the Jeep, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a side-by-side.
Let's go faster.
Critters rolled as a ball in Critters too.
They did.
They got blown together. That's a little different, but it formed a perfect wheel, perfect ball.
Funny how that works.
The ball got
Solid science there.
yeah, very very good
critters.
science.
Yeah. So now the kids, Nicolas Cage blows himself up, and they have to save his life. They take him back to the house, and they realize they need more help. So they take him to the Rose Farm, and the Rose Farm says that the kid can stay with the girlfriend, but everybody else has to go. Which
Yeah,
is
the other kid is on his own.
Right.
Good luck to you.
they don't want to give any medicine to Nick Cage.
Can't help you.
And that's where
Sorry.
the
They don't have
familial
enough to
stuff.
spare.
This
Yeah.
movie does play a lot with the family aspect because you have Nicolas Cage treating these two kids who not actually his kids, but he raised them, so they are now as his sons.
Do
and
you
he does,
think they know that he's not their dad?
I don't know.
I want to know how he kept them alive. They were little babies.
I mean, that would have been a good
Aaron,
storyline for why
you
the one
can-
kid keeps
Can you
leaving.
milk? Can you milk a cage?
You can milk anything. That has
That would have
nipples.
been a good storyline.
Okay, fucker.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could probably keep him alive, but I mean, the whole point is like family, and the bond of family. There's a couple cool scenes in the movie. Like he goes out in the darkness to get his son with no hesitation to save him.
Wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
But there's two things. Like one, he tells the youngest son who apologizes for it. It's like, no, it's not your fault. It's my fault for letting this happen or whatever. But then two, there's a scene later on in the movie where the two boys are talking to each other. And I forget what he says, but I forget what it was, but he like undermines that Nick Cage would like let things go with him or something. Like there was some sort of like, I don't know. He wasn't, I guess my point is he wasn't like this like ultimate badass guy trying to destroy these kids to be brutally ready for this world. You know what I mean? He
loved them
and loved them.
He actually wanted them to be able to take care of themselves.
And he was like understanding the kid was going over to the farm, and he was like letting him do that and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't keep the grass from growing.
You got exactly. You got to let your kids grow up, which is hard to do.
So
it's
that's
not easy.
That their bond, who are they're over there surviving, juxtaposed against this rose farm that's thriving, and those people turn out to be kind of monsters for the most part.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I find it odd that they let the boyfriend stay, because at the time I said, oh well, they recognize that there's kind of a relationship going there. Maybe we need to continue the human race and have that go.
Oh.
But then like they come across them kissing, and the dad gets real mad and makes her leave, and so that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I didn't know where that was going.
It's kind of
he's his dad,
message.
But I thought he was mad because he stole the medicine.
That was the other guy.
Not at that point.
Yeah.
I thought that was a different guy that caught him. Wasn't a dad that caught him, right?
I was confused by that. The dynamics were weird with the people in the farm.
The dad was weird. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking that happened after he had stolen the medicine, but yeah, you're right. It was before. Yeah, I guess he was just mad to seeing his daughter make out with some dude or something. I don't know. But they had to know what was going on.
Right.
Obviously.
Like, why else is he coming over there to help you on your farm?
And it's not like they were banging or anything. They just kissed, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He didn't like walk into like, I don't know. It didn't seem like that big of a deal at the end of the world when these monsters are pinwheeling around and shit, but whatever.
Seriously. Bigger problems to worry
Perspective,
about,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, as long as they're together and they can protect her, but could you imagine trying to carry a baby while you're in the apocalypse like that?
Nicolas Cage carried 2 from an underpass, Aaron. And he was 57 years old at the time.
And he's still 57.
Somehow still 57.
Holding at 57.
Somehow.
So then everything culminates in that evening. The monsters all attack the Rose Farm, which was a pretty badass sequence.
Mm-hmm.
That farm gets torched.
I like when like the husband, that the leader guy is like, I'm gonna go check, and he walks and you see it in the darkness. That was cool. And the mom getting killed. Those sequences were pretty great.
Yeah, those were pretty cool.
And then they burrow up through the floor into the farm worker's cabin.
Yeah, that's the stupid thing though. The burrowing thing, like, isn't that just gonna be like what they always have done? Why would?
Yeah, unless it's, I could understand if they like explain some kind of how the creature's evolving, and then there's a new type of creature that can burrow, like some kind of reasoning.
That's what I wanted to see, and then like the creatures attack each other, the people
like
try to run away.
Reasoning,
like the creatures are against each other,
or like there's a full moon, or
they're not werewolves.
It's mating season, or something. Something.
It's kind of fucking full moon mating season.
There's a comet in the sky, and it's driving them crazy.
Full moon mating season. AJ just wrote that down as like inspiration.
That's a new song.
That'll be another bumper.
Another bumper is coming. Watch out.
It's a full moon. Give us $2.
I mean, it is all this stuff is so convenient to make interesting for a concise storyline, but that's what you kind of have to do. But when you look back at like, well, you told the audience 15 years has passed. Yeah. So it's kind of weird that it's at least 15 years until these things have either one shown up or two learned that they could dig up from the ground. Like that just seems kind of dumb. But then what happens?
Then the kids go back to their house with the girl, and they've learned that the younger guy has figured out that they're burrowing because he found the dirt outside, right?
Yeah.
And but he couldn't find the hole in the house until he walked over the big rug and just fell into it. That was
pretty good.
That was nice. Good. Yeah.
That's so funny.
And then, of course, we get the final battle climax thing with Nick Cage coming out from his deathbed to save the day.
Hiding in the fridge to blow up the entire house.
Blow up the house. If you're in the fridge, apparently you're okay then.
Yeah.
And that was an awesome scene
when he wasn't there. Just hung out and drank. Yeah,
he's back in his
lived in his castle.
Probably. So then the people that are left are the 2 young boys and the Goyle.
The what?
The Goyle.
The Goyle? The Moyle?
All the beautiful Goyles.
Goyles.
which was
and
weird.
then they drive away and get chased by the flaming wheel of creatures.
Oh yeah. I forgot
Which
about
the
that.
girl then shoots and kills, right?
Yeah.
And then they
And that's
act
it.
like there are no more creatures.
Right, they're
and
done.
it's safe to walk in the nighttime now. And
Well, no, they drive off into the night basically, but the next day it's already getting dark, and they're saying their goodbyes to their families, and they're like, "What's our plan now?" Well, I don't know. Like the first thing,
weed every day.
first thing you'd be thinking is like, we need shelter. We got to find a place to hide.
Yeah, but where are they
But
going to
they're
find
kids.
shelter? They can
But-
dig.
Well, guys,
but that's why I think maybe
You
the
gotta go up.
creatures
You gotta go up.
are gone. You know, they killed them all.
at one point earlier in the movie, they're like, "Well, we killed the one in the hole," or it was like it made it seem like there was only a few because he was like two came or three came the last night, but only two came this night or something. I was like, "Oh, maybe there's only a few of them." So then you can contend with them, and once you destroy them, then you know you're safe. But yeah, there was like fucking 100 of these fucking things pinwheeling around, fucking circus sideshow over here.
But they all pinwheeled together,
They
and
did.
then they all burned.
Family.
So
Pinwheel keeps on
Underlies
turning.
the
I think
theme
the
of the
problem
movie.
is solved.
Problem
Is this
is
the Fast and the
solved.
Furious 15?
Problem solved, except for there's two dudes and one girl, and that's the rest of humanity. I guess the other
Don't
guy
get
was kind of
excited.
was too nerdy. He was only into science and stuff, anyways.
Okay.
Chess. I'm just saying, like, there's gonna be a problem at some point, right?
Well,
Unless
it's implied that there's a lot of other people around, and there's a village and a. So the
Yes.
whole end of the world.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Nick Cage on
okay,
his
Chris.
own
They're gonna be
didn't
okay.
follow
That-
It'll be all right.
that
It'll
scene
be all
where,
right.
where the kid was sitting there playing chess and his brother joined him, and Nicolas Cage was sitting in a rocking chair watching. I was like, this is what life was like before the internet. This is what people did. We spent time together. We enjoyed each other's
That's
horrible
why
company.
you gotta limit
We
screen
played
time, guys.
chess, which I do like chess.
This is cool.
Yeah, chess is a great game.
I'm terrible
suck
at it.
Chess, yeah.
Yeah, I can't think more than like one move ahead. So
I just
I'm not
am
good.
too distracted.
All right.
Good talk.
Anything else?
When's the sequel?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting
return
thing
to
is
Arcadian.
they never have a scene where the characters sit down and hypothesize about the creatures.
yeah,
But there's a lot of questions left unanswered.
That's true.
And it's all about them that's actually interesting. The rest of the stuff's not that interesting.
What'd you think of the title?
I don't
I
know
actually
what it
looked up what the
means.
word means because
Rebecca,
I wasn't sure. It says relating to or constituting an ideal rural paradise.
Gotta constituent.
Okay, so like, so that's what they were doing?
It's a rural
They
paradise.
were
lived
in.
on a.
That's
They
what
were in an
in.
Arcadian, yeah.
An Arcadian
yeah.
I would
area.
totally live in Ireland.
It's Arcadian, bitch, or whatever that movie was. Remember that? Arcade or whatever.
Get off my.
Oh yeah, arcade, bitch.
I was like,
That's a sequel.
like 8 years ago.
that was like our third episode we did.
It really was.
That was a what's his
my
face?
first
Arcade, man.
Albert Pion.
Albert
Yeah,
Young film. Yeah.
R.I.P. Albert
Arcade.
Beyond.
Albert, yeah, R.I.P.
All right. Well, Aaron, would you recommend The Arcadian?
Yeah, if you're into modern horror films, I think this is pretty decent. I mean, it's nothing groundbreaking. It's not amazing, but it was entertaining. I wasn't bored by it. I did like the creature design just because it felt different. It was something new. I thought that was pretty creative.
AJ.
Yeah, it was okay. You know, in the recent wake of like new Nick Cage movies, it's definitely not at the top of my list. I'd say go watch Pig instead, which is an amazing movie.
Pig?
But
It's a good movie.
it was fine. It was okay.
Away to my pig.
Rebecca.
Yeah, I think I'll recommend it too. I mean, the creature is interesting, at least, and it's enough of a story to keep you in it.
Spiff.
I definitely recommend this one. It was a fun hour and 10 minutes, you know? It's just the right length.
I think it's longer than that.
Is it?
I
Hour
would guess
20.
an hour and a half, but yeah,
Hour
no,
27, I think.
I enjoy it too. I think it's a pretty fun movie. I think it's worth checking out. So check out Arcadian. It's out now on all the sites. Well, it's time to move on.
On all the sites.
Constitution.
and play a game. So here we go.
Let's time.
Game time, baby.
Memories are the worst kind of puppy. Right? Your methods are sloppy and your conclusions are highly fuzzy. Shall we play?
This
All
is
right,
cool.
we're going
This is cool.
off the grid
Sounds amazing. I
to
wanna play
an
this.
Arcadian lifestyle.
That's not enough
Nice.
panels, man.
Yeah, it's not gonna do shit.
That's enough to charge
It's
yourself
enough for
up.
some basics.
Refrigerator.
If you're off the grid, it's not like you've got
Yeah,
a computer
that's
to
true.
run.
Heater,
And
air conditioner.
There's probably
It's
a
the end of the
bicycle
world. It's just
panel.
like, I can't watch Netflix. This is bullshit.
Who's flying the drone?
all right, about how many Americans live off the grid?
14.
Nowadays?
806.
No, 200,000. There's lots of places you can't live off the
200,000.
grid now.
I'm going to say 23,000.
Do you consider Harrisburg off the grid?
It's pretty close.
I know Florida used to be able to, not anymore.
Florida will be off the map eventually.
That's true.
Unfortunately.
Wipe it off.
Yeah, there's still 3 million people that are off the grid. So it's about 250,000 people. They obviously it's just an estimation because there are people that are off the grid that aren't included
Cop
in the
out.
count.
Tell you. Yeah.
That's a cop out.
By 2035, it's estimated what percentage of people will be off the grid.
Oh,
Percent?
80%.
Yeah.
Well, right now, what is that? Like less than 1%.
Way less than
Say,
1%.
2%.
Five.
I don't know if that's true because a lot of young people are living in cars and things now that off the grid.
I'm going
in
to
that
say
context.
4.7%.
It's called being homeless, AJ.
Yeah, that's
I
different.
know. It's the new in.
That's not living off the grid in my mind. No, that's just
You have to buy your
Yeah.
$200,000 van. And then
That's
live-
true.
Right.
Or you just
Yeah.
get a Honda Element.
So it's about 12%.
Oh my
the
God.
estimation.
That's
All right, there you go.
That's
I don't know
11
about
years away.
Well, they're
I
also going to
believe
move
that.
to Alaska.
Now, when they say
like,
off the grid, does that just mean like not hooked up to an electric grid?
yeah. Is that like Texas? Whenever it gets
you're
cold,
not,
are they
yeah,
all
you're
off
not
the
hooked
grid?
up to any- You're not hooked up to any.
Sorry, I don't
kind
mean to
of-
be mean, but you know,
Like,
what's off the
Like,
grid?
Am I off the grid then? I mean, I have solar panels.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
have to
But
be
do you
100%
have, like, it's
Water?
any kind of public
utilities.
utility?
Have you plugged in?
I am plugged in, man.
The thing, though, that from what I understand is most states have outlawed living off the grid. Where
Yeah,
it
I
used to be
did
in a
see
lot
Can
of
be really
that.
places.
hard.
Like Alaska's
Yeah.
one of the only places I think you can still do that.
Freedom.
I don't think I like the
Taxes
phrase.
are big.
The phrase anymore. I don't like the phrase off the grid.
What
Why?
would you call it?
I don't know. Everybody kept saying it. It kind of loses its luster.
Yeah, all right. Sorry.
About how much would it cost for a family of 3 to live off the grid?
Permanently
fucking
or
Hobbit
what?
house.
If you're a hobbit,
Are you
Like
farming?
the initial
The
startup.
initial startup.
Oh,
Yeah,
initial
for a
startup?
family of
oh
3.
boy.
$300,000.
200,000.
The land alone.
Yeah, you gotta buy
depending
the
what you
land.
buy.
Yeah,
The land is the
is
hard
cheap
part.
though, depending on where you go.
150
That's
grand.
true.
I'm gonna
150.
say 100 grand.
Is that about 54,000?
What?
No, you can't even buy the solar panels for that
Where are you
much.
gonna,
Oh, this is
Exactly.
interesting. You can
you're
live
gonna
in
buy
Tennessee
land or
off
a
the
house
grid.
or solar panels for that.
Guys, we can live in Tennessee.
You couldn't even buy the
one-
trees for that.
In off-grid systems, which type of battery is most commonly used for
Lead
energy
acid.
storage?
Lead acid.
Is it okay?
lead acid.
Lithium ion, lead acid, nickel cadmium, or alkaline? Now you can give your answer.
Lead acid.
Excuse me.
It is lead acid.
Yep. Cheap, easy to maintain.
And you can drink it if you get hungry.
No.
What?
What?
What happens?
You're gonna drink the water out of the lead acid battery?
I just want to drink the lead.
You're not gonna eat the
If
anodes?
you're gonna die?
I don't. Does lead actually hurt you? I know it like makes.
Yeah, it
learning
makes you-
disabilities.
It kills your brain.
It kills your brain.
And it never leaves.
Chris, you might want to test your water.
That's why all these kids are dying.
Which method is typically most efficient for purifying water in an off-grid system?
Ooh.
Is it boiling, chemical treatment, filtration through sand, or reverse osmosis?
Filtration through
Reverse
sand.
Efficient. I would say reverse osmosis.
Yeah, reverse
osmosis.
osmosis.
Well, I think you have to use coal.
My favorite Ozzy Osbourne album.
It is reverse osmosis. And there it is, in action.
Wow.
Look at that. The
Yep, you take the dirty water, you put a little cork disc, hot pad thing between that, and out
that's
comes the
a-
clean
Off
water.
the grid.
Semi-permeable membrane,
I like those
obviously.
membranes.
Who doesn't love a semi-permeable membrane?
That's what attacks the mom in the movie.
Which types of crops are best suited for off-the-grid living? Annual crops, perennial crops, hydroponic crops, or greenhouse crops?
Hydroponics for sure.
Yeah, hydroponics.
Yeah.
100%.
Hydroponics.
Although you gotta have a lot of water then.
Vertical farming.
Yeah, you would need a ton of water.
Yeah, perennial
It
wins
is
this.
there you go.
perennials.
I mean, that's what we-
Perennials are the
Asparagus.
best.
As a species.
What was that?
Kinda started with, right?
Who has the
One
farming-
species.
As a
I
species.
believe it's species at that point.
Spetchmakey.
Bishik. How many gallons of water does one person need per day in an off-grid living
To drink?
situation?
Oh my god. I
Like
don't
to do
know.
everything.
Cooking,
7.
drinking,
50.
bathing too, shitting. Or are we just
Anything.
talking
I
drinking?
need water to
Anything.
I need a
much.
bidet.
50 gallons.
7.
50
17.
gallons. Good lord. I mean, I take
your
hour-long
shower.
showers.
Yeah.
So I need 4 billion gallons of water.
It's about 18 gallons
Jesus.
a day.
Man, that's
Does it all have to be potable? Or
You
is
need
it?
a well at that point.
I guess it depends what you're using it for.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. You lived off.
Hell
Nice.
yeah.
That was a great game.
Hell yeah.
Very
Time to move on.
informative.
Thank you, Rebecca. Time to move on
Yep.
and do some listener feedback. Here we go.
Read some listener feedback, sir.
Make it so, number one.
Emails. You tiny little emails. You precious little emails. Where are you?
Last week we checked out Tall Hot Blonde, the definitive guide to internet poker. David Black, I really enjoyed it too. The actor did a good job, seeming really gross. It was the mustache. The fact this was
He's a
real
great actor.
was messed up and did make it more fun to watch. I wouldn't have thought the plot was realistic if it was just made up, lol. Yeah, I had to keep looking it up, like, did that really happen?
Dude, that was a great movie. I liked that movie.
It was fun,
quite a
yeah.
bit.
It was fun, but yeah, just the fact that
I
it was
thought-
real
Such a
was-
crazy
oof.
story.
I thought it was
Yeah, it
stressful
was.
how like real to life stuff was and how gross it was and stuff. I don't know. I was engaged. I was on board.
David continues here, gross to think he was sniffing the panties of who he thought was a teenager, and crazy that the woman was sending the bikini pics and panties was sending those of her real daughter.
Oh, it's so
So
dark. So
Messed up.
dark.
So terrible.
Alternate title, Noodling for Nudes.
Like,
So gross. Oh, also, here's my title, Noodling.
Let
noodling,
me make it
like you're
grosser.
fishing?
If you don't know what noodling is, it's when
Okay.
people reach underwater for catfish with their bare hands under the banks and stuff, which sounds like a terrible idea. I have seen
Ugh.
videos of people doing that.
Yeah, I would never grab a
That's
fish.
gotta hurt, right? When the catfish like chomps down on your arm.
Well, and don't they have like spines and stuff? Like
Probably.
not
And
spines, like
teeth.
yeah,
I think they have teeth.
yeah, They're not nice.
I don't know. People do weird shit, and that I would never consider doing. Saw like a guy like dive into a cave under the river, like a little hole, and I was like, why would you ever fucking do that? Like, what is wrong with
Lack of self-preservation instinct.
I saw a video
Yeah.
of a caver who was videoing himself in the cave, of course. And he was like, okay, now I have to exhale to go through this part. It was like, oh, you're going to get stuck in
shouldn't
live
be that
broadcast your
tight.
death.
Yep.
Yeah.
It happens.
Oh,
Did he get
yeah,
it
wasn't
out?
there? Lindsay told us, right? That one caver who like died in one of
He
those
got stuck
places?
doing the one of the.
And now no one can
couldn't-
go there because his
Right.
body's in the way.
Yeah,
He's
they said
blocking
didn't
it.
they?
Yeah, there's a photo of his like feet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
I think they ended up.
Yeah,
just
he,
still in
he did the
cave,
breathe
right?
in thing and then got stuck and couldn't get back out.
That's awful.
What a way to die.
Why would you do that? I can't even imagine
Be-
stressing out.
I'm so my
frick.
my watch is
It's not
telling
going to
me.
be a quick death
High
either. Like
stress.
you're going to be aware of that
Oh yeah,
death.
it took him hours to die.
Oh god.
Well, and if you have to exhale to get into the place, then you can't inhale anymore.
Probably
right?
could just
Right.
a little bit.
Just enough to stay
enough to
alive,
stay
but not.
alive. Oh boy.
Just those
Oh,
little like.
I don't like thinking about this at all. We
Ah.
gotta. I don't like it at all.
I'd rather fight the creatures.
Rather fight the creatures. Mike D. I liked Arcadian way more than Long Legs.
All right.
Oh,
let's
wow,
not
that's
get
a hot
fucking
take.
I didn't
crazy.
want
That's
to. I didn't
Let's
want
not
to.
get crazy.
Whoa, that's.
I mean, Long Legs. That movie
Cinematically is-
was fantastic looking and very effective
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
I have no idea what it's about. I saw the trailer and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
I mean, I think I still like Black Coat's Daughter better, but Longlegs is pretty
fair.
good.
Hansel and Gretel, right?
Hansel and Gretel was great too.
Oh my god, that's a great
Oz
movie.
Perkins, such like a beautiful visual quality about it.
I do think Longlegs is very good with the suspense and the intensity with like her breathing. Like the audio is very good in that movie.
You should watch it, Aaron.
I probably will.
Yeah, you can watch Cage do this crazy
But
thing.
if you haven't seen it, watch Black Coat's Daughter. That's the better movie.
I haven't watched that either.
That's a great movie.
I heard that's really good.
All right. And I looked it up, Aaron. The maximum shower head flow is 2.5 gallons per minute. So that means you
Give me
use
4 of
about,
them.
Holy shit,
what,
Aaron used
140
like,
gallons for a shower.
I don't think ours is that much.
Aaron, you should be arrested. There's fucking kids like in Africa that don't have any water, and they're like dying. And you're over here like showering for an hour and 20 minutes.
Dude, it's because I'm so fat from all the food I eat.
It's just the surface area.
There's so much surface area, Chris. It takes forever.
Fair enough.
Oh, wow. Well, that does it for our listener feedback on Tall Hot Blonde. I guess it wasn't too popular, but it was a fun movie.
All right.
If you want to leave feedback for Arcadian, you got to leave it down below here in the comments. Let us know what you thought.
Yeah, tell us what kind of cooking utensil you would use to create a creature. Like a spatula monster?
When you cook, do you use tongs?
A waffle iron?
Well, I think tongs are appropriate for a tonging situation, but a lot of times a spatula is just appropriate too. It all depends.
It really depends. I generally like to use as many as I could possibly can use because I forget that I already got them out and then, have to do a bunch of extra dishes.
All right. Well, we got American Rickshaw.
Yeah, we're not doing.
And the potato chips is going to be
Suburban Sasquatch.
Oh, okay. And Trucks, which is just Maximum Overdrive. Okay.
Potato chips is Night of the Seagulls.
Trucks is like the USA. Was it USA Network version of Maximum Overdrive?
Nice.
Spike.
Oh, yeah, I've seen Trucks. That was a good one.
Timothy Busfield.
Oh, what do we got?
This is why I'm not on the show very much anymore. Guys.
American Rickshaw.
American Rickshaw.
This is
Jesse Maggers.
Jesse Maggers.
Maggers.
All right. What is this shit? American Rickshaw? This is like a action movie about a guy with a rickshaw.
But he's American.
All right. I found the trailer.
Are we able to watch this?
Yes, Biv. You're going to have faith.
Come on, George Michaels.
Faith.
Here we go.
I gotta have.
What's that music? Sounds like fucking Andromeda.
Hey, babe, ride with me, give you a discount.
Oh,
Here you are.
late 80s here, early 90s.
Don't you rickshaw guys work for tips?
Oh my gosh.
Is $100 enough?
It's just.
Oh my god!
What? Where did that come from?
That was an angry rickshaw driver. Holy shit.
Does that count as road rage?
I kill for a lot less.
Oh, shit.
There's
a cobra?
We cut it.
A Beretta?
He was born June 6, 1966.
Look out!
Right.
That's Chris taking a shit in 10 years from now.
This is Donald.
Are we able to
What-
find this thing anywhere?
What is
Where's the
happening?
rickshaw action?
Where's the
first of all?
rickshaw action?
I want to see rickshaws fighting and
The
racing.
beginning is the rickshaw?
Seems like a drama.
What's this snake stuff going on?
He's a cobra.
He's Cobra Commander.
Yeah, I don't see one scene of rickshaw action.
I'm so
No.
disappointed in the rickshaw.
There's no rickshaws.
Oh, that's
Oh my
That's
gosh.
kind of cool.
Best scene of the movie. We just saw it.
Yeah, no, there's like
No rickshaws.
a hint of a rickshaw right there.
There's
in the
one right
background.
there.
You
Maybe
could call
they're-
this
they're
like
holding-
American
maybe they're holding out, they don't wanna
Starbucks
show it
barista.
all.
There's more
All the
rickshaw
rickshaw
in the
action.
Is there?
I
wanted a
put the
rickshaw
link for the
race.
full thing. I found it on YouTube.
Pluto TV. Oh, you found it on YouTube? Okay.
Yeah.
There's no rickshaw car chase scene? Damn it.
All right, that's whatever. American Rickshaw. That's what's coming up next week on Z Bad Movie Night Podcast. You can get it on YouTube if you want to check it out. But we will be back next week to talk about it. Guys, if you enjoyed the show, go to the iTunes, leave a review. That helps out the show. leave a like, leave a comment on the YouTubes. That also helps out the show. And share this podcast with your mom and say, what up, mom?
Listen to this fucking thing.
I have to call my mom back. I don't call her back that often. I'm pretty bad. Son, don't be like me. I know Aaron definitely doesn't call her because he's never had. I don't think Aaron has literally ever answered my phone call. Like,
when have you called me?
I call you all the time. You wouldn't know. You never.
I think you're calling someone else because I don't have any calls from you.
He doesn't answer the phone.
He doesn't answer the phone.
I do not answer the phone.
So.
But if you called me, I would probably answer because it's you. It means it's probably something important.
You would think.
But you don't ever call me.
Turns out he doesn't. Turns out he doesn't.
Is there a way to see when someone last called you? Because I kind of want to see. I want to see where this is.
All right, guys.
Yesterday.
Yeah, Chris last called in 2022.
No, that's when you last called me.
No, it's when you last called me.
Get the shit out of here.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it. That's it for this episode on Arcadian. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you here next week for American Rickshaw. Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to the Bad Movie Night Podcast.
Bad Movie Night.